Hi guys, ArchieLuxury, and who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW.
So what would I do in your position?
What would you do if you got
you
dementia, rightio? So your doctor said, look, you're just forgetting things. It's early stage of dementia.
Yeah. Well,
what do you do?
look. Have you got that?
Maybe.
No. Look.
What would you do?
Look. The reality is, we don't know how long we've got here. Okay. Everything is a. Unfortunately, with dementia, it's a downhill slope very quickly.
It is.
You know, it's sort of.
Sometimes you have a daughter or someone that looks after you, but then it's hard for them to look after you anyway. How long can they look after you? And
well, I think the thing is, if okay, say you had a prognosis like dementia, I think what you would try and do is, okay, if it was me, right? What you'd want to try and do is make some decisions before you go downhill into the shit, right? You don't want to be in one of these nursing homes where they're pouring kerosene on you to get the bed bugs away. You know what I'd try and do. It depends how much money you've got, right? But I would try and say, look, either way you're pretty fucked, okay?
you are.
Okay. But I would hopefully say, well, see, this is what makes it hard, right? But I, if it was me, okay, if you didn't have a wife to help you, you're by yourself, I'd try and say you've got to try and get a family member on board and say, right, I'm going downhill very quickly, right? What you want to do is use your assets to give you better care. If you do nothing, the greed of your family will do nothing to preserve so they can take it over, right?
Yeah.
So what I would try and do, look, this is a very difficult situation, but I think in my own case there, you would try and reason with them and say, look, I'll sign some asset to you. You'll get the whole lot of the house if you look after me for so many years. That's what I would try and do. You can work out how long you got feasibly left. You could look at things like maybe can you change diet? Can you do things to try and stop these type of progress? But if it's downhill down a slope, what you'd want to try and do is you want to make sure that whilst you're able to assign your assets so that can be used to look after you, not put your head in the sand and then nothing happens to the asset.
Rightio, so let's suppose, rightio, I go to the doctor and said, Alzheimer's, dementia, it's on the way. All right.
Okay.
So now I've still got my thinking, rightio.
Okay, yeah.
So I said to you, rightio, you look after me for 10 years now?
Well,
do nothing. Don't chase women. Don't put.
No. Stop. Okay. As long as you've got people on your side there, you can steer this vessel. Okay. Have you met people with dementia? Do you see the consequences?
Sonia's mother had dementia.
Yeah. Look, it
got worse and worse.
It normally goes downhill pretty damn fast, to be honest with you. I think the thing is this, right?
When you say fast, you got a couple of years.
That's pretty fast. 5 years isn't bloody good. Good outcome.
No, 5 years. It's not. I think it's not like you have it and then next 4 weeks later you think it just goes slowly.
No, but
it gets worse.
5 years is quick enough, Charlie.
Yeah, it is, and you.
Well, put it this way: if you've got $1 million home, okay, say you had someone who really looked after you, right? That might cost you $80,000 a year. Seriously, I would broker a deal with the devil and say, you can have this asset, I will sign this percentage over to you every couple of years, you stay and look after me with this. Do you see what I'm saying, or you don't?
But what
No, but what I'm
guarantee
saying
you got
is-
to look after you?
No, but there is no guarantee.
You got dementia, yeah.
No, but hang on a minute.
They'll-
Hang on a minute. Whilst you're able, there is no 100% guarantee. You can get fleeced, okay? But the problem is this. Let me explain to you the problem, okay? Say you have got dementia. By the time you got dementia and your kids are involved, they want to get their share, right? They don't want you to spend that share.
No, that's
They
right.
want to preserve it.
Preserve it,
right?
yeah.
You've got to make steps before.
So the cheapest nursing home they put you in, the better.
No. You've got to say, right, this house, every year you look after me, you get 10%. The house is worth $1 million, 100,000 a year. That is effectively your salary.
Yeah, well, who's going to look after me then?
Well, if you made that deal, they would. But where people are silly is they don't do that. They say, oh, you should look after me for free. Well, that's not really. Those people have got commitments themselves to look after. Like I don't mind looking after someone for 5 to 10 years if I get a reward out of it. Did you understand or not? You don't see that, do you?
No, well, yeah, no,
I think what you've got to do is you've got to make a decision whilst you're still reasonable bodied. Either way, you're fucked.
So you're going to say to your two kids, listen, you kids.
Well, I tell you honestly.
And the Asians do that. They say, look, I'm looking after you. When I get older, you're going to look after me.
No,
right?
but
that's why I'm looking after you.
What I'm saying
and
is,
then instill
you
that.
have to get this deal worked out. Okay, honestly, it's a very downhill slope.
Yeah.
Right? What you want to do is you want to use that money to improve your life. There's many things you could do there that could feasibly halfway pass you off. You know, there's sort of things you can do. How bad is it? Dementia gets to the stage where you can't even feed yourself, and you're like a child. You go back to complete infancy. By that stage, there you don't even know what's happening anyhow.
No.
But you want to try and look. It's a pretty bad way to go. Are you worried about dementia? What other diseases? I'll tell you a story there. One of Harami's friends, she's married to this Aussie guy. Harami used to work with her at the medical centre. He was yellow one day.
Turn yellow.
He's turning, his colour, I don't know what colour, I think it was yellow. And they said, oh shit, this is, because he's in a medical centre, so this is not very good, you turn it. He's got serious cancer, bowel cancer. The doctor said to him, you do nothing, you got 1 year to 2 years. You do a lot, treatment-wise, surgery and radiation, that you got 5 years. So what would you do then?
I think I do nothing because surgery and radiation is not
If he's
fun.
got 2 years then?
Well,
See, the thing is this.
surgery and radiation.
The thing is
pretty
this,
bad.
right? So the guy's, I think he's.
What he did? What did he do? He went to surgery and
No,
radiation.
well, this is the strangest thing, right?
Yeah.
No, he's had the operation because otherwise he's got 6 months to a year.
Yeah.
So he's had the surgery, but he's gone back to working. He's working. He's a practice manager, so he earns about 150,000.
He's back working after the surgery.
Yeah, he likes his job. But I mean, seriously,
Yeah,
you would have thought you'd say, well, hang on a minute, I don't have that much time left.
Yeah.
You would completely leave that, wouldn't? I don't know. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't
Well,
tell you what
that's
you
how
do.
I feel. Yeah.
I don't know what you do. You tell me what you would do. What would you do?
Well, I think what you think. There's a lady came to me with that answer, that problem. Her husband had leukemia,
Sure.
and they said, look, this is bad, this leukemia.
Yeah. Go on.
So, they said you can have this surgery,
Yeah.
and it's got some chance of success, but
Sure.
but you have to stop working. And the wife said to the husband, look, you can't stop working. If you stop working now,
Yeah.
your super fund's worth 400,000. But if you work for another 6 months, it's worth 800,000. It's
How's
double
that
it.
possible?
Or because it's worked on some sort of unit, some system. He got a lot more if he worked for another 6 months.
Oh, I see.
because of the rules of the fund, whatever.
What sort of fund is this?
Oh,
How old was he?
50,
Okay.
quite young. Anyway,
Well, can he take sick leave in that? There's more than one way to kill a cat.
No, he'd taken sick leave, but he had to.
What sort of job did he have?
Oh, a top job.
Was it with government or was it private enterprise?
Well, I should know because I did all these things,
Yeah,
but
but
I don't remember.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, with government or something like that. But the answer was.
Well, that's a cushy job anyhow.
Yeah, but you
Anyhow,
you,
so
you can't
what do
sit
they
there
do
and you
what
can't
do
sit
they
there and
do
do
then?
nothing. Well, he went back to he had some treatment and went back to work and died
Sure.
because he should have just stopped. You know, I think he should have just stopped and at least. In fact, there's a girl at our office that was that situation. Husband's like that.
Sure.
So he should have stopped. But anyway,
Sure.
so he stopped. Didn't stop. He died,
Yeah.
and she had a mental breakdown because she felt responsible for that. But at the same time, she remarried and off she went. She met somebody else, and because she left a lot of money behind, and she went to Western Australia or something. But there's a person in our office at the moment. She's an accountant, and he was working for Coca-Cola, I think, in a management role, and he's got something like leukemia or something.
Sure.
And well, he doesn't look good, but he stopped working. He can't go back to work. He stopped working, and he just looks after the kids and that. And supposedly, we don't ask her but supposedly it's static, but obviously he's just a time. Well, we're all going to die, but he's going to die faster than normal,
Sure.
And then she'll be all by herself with 2 kids. And,
Sure, that's exactly.
So that's how life strikes you, and that's what happened to me with Erica, your mother. I mean, 35 or something, 6 died. I mean, that's horrible.
Sure. Well, there's no guarantees, I'm afraid,
No.
is there?
And that's devastating.
Well,
I could have been very rich. I was doing very well actually, if it wasn't for that. And that was a bummer.
it is a bummer. It's a bummer.
And but then it was not a bad experience because I'd left the. I was then working for myself, which and with the assistance of partner, but then it all sort of fell apart in that. No, not that I gave up. I just kept on going and it succeeded, but it would have been a lot more successful and if she hadn't have died, and that was a horrible thing.
Yeah, it is very tough that there.
I suppose a death is better than divorce, isn't it? But from asset wise, you don't lose your assets. But
Yeah.
then the next person comes along and says, "Oh,
They weren't worth much.
they weren't worth much."
Yeah, well, why didn't you
yeah.
bloody have any?
Well, how come you had nothing? Yeah.
Yeah. How come you had nothing?
Yeah, it weren't worth much.
They weren't worth much. That's
Yeah, that was.
that was very convenient.
But you were some of these partners. They get very vicious. There's one on TV yesterday, a true story in America where they're high.
Friend me, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Friend me, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Friend me, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. Friend me, enemy. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck just wanna be a mini me. All these neck.
Like, subscribe, and tell your friends, and don't be afraid to get a paid review. $50 for a paid review. It helps me stay full-time on YouTube, and I will see you in the next one. $50 paid review. I can't survive on Google Ads. I need your support. And guys, you could also sponsor me on Patreon. Patreon allows you to pay as little as $1 a month to keep me on YouTube. Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. Who do I recommend for watches in Brisbane and Sydney? Vintage Watch Co. That's correct. Vintage Watch Co. in Brisbane Arcade in Brisbane and the Strand Arcade in Sydney. Vintage Watch Co., Brisbane and Sydney. Ronnie, I've known him since the late 90s. Ronnie is a top bloke. Luke is a great guy. Vintage Watch Co., that is who I recommend in Australia. Check out Vintage Watch Co. and the guys' amazing range of watches. They also do service and repairs. Vintage Watch Co. That is where the Pontiff goes. You know, some of my Patek's came from Vintage Watch Co. That's right, guys. Vintage Watch Co.